All right, so my first impression of Alexis when she walked in was first, oh, it's Alexis from church. That's interesting because I actually always thought she was incredibly beautiful.
Yo.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
That's
You
good.
Want to grab something to eat?
Yeah, let's get something.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh, they have like the different selections up here.
that's
Yo, this is crazy. Like I didn't
it's
expect.
definitely wild. Productions team.
Production
we know
team
each
at
other
church,
already.
like from Victory Church, Atlanta to a slice of heaven. Like
That's
wow,
funny.
that is really funny.
Yeah. I'm gonna get the white cake over there.
Okay,
And
I'm
then,
gonna get that one there.
Yeah. You wanna sit down?
Yeah, let's take a seat.
So we definitely know each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we know each other from productions team and stuff
Yeah,
like that, but
yeah.
we don't really like
Know each other.
Know each other.
Yeah.
Aside from the occasional church hug.
Right. Another church hug.
The occasional church hug. Are you IG famous? I don't know if I follow you on Instagram. Do you have
No.
mad followers on Instagram? Because it seems
mean-
like everybody that I know is Instagram famous, and I'm just regular.
What? No, I don't. I wouldn't call it Instagram famous. I don't have that many followers, but I have like a YouTube channel for like my business, and like
Okay.
I kind of got some audience from there, and then like
That's what's
people
up.
always call my name. Oh, the Lily Speaks or whatever.
Okay.
My username, my brand name, but they don't
Yeah.
like. Yeah, so I'm not Instagram famous. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that about? The Lily Speaks, where'd you get the name from?
So I was reading a book one day. I was on this book club on like Instagram or whatever, and the book was like Lily something, but it was like you put in a drawing to win the book. And so I ended up, long story short, winning the book, and it was talking about Lily, how Lily represents purity. And at that time, I had a different username. I was like, I want to change my name. Like, I was being deep, like, oh, like Abraham, he changed his name. I changed my name too. So that's how I got the Lily Speaks. That's part of the username. And then the Speaks portion was kind of like a way for me to authentically speak and speak my truth and speaking as growing. So that kind of has different tiers with like fashion, speaking through fashion, creatively expressing yourself, writing, expressing yourself. That's a form of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And through that platform, I hope to encourage other people to don't be afraid to speak. It's okay. Like you have, you matter, and what you have to say matters. So that's just kind of like a synopsis of it. That's what.
So this is completely random, but I have I've recently fallen in love with plants and taking
Plants?
care of plants.
I like plants
So
too.
at my job, I have a plant. It's an orchid, and I named it Lily.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Oh, that's pretty
but I
cool.
name all the plants that I actually like.
Why'd you name it Lily if it's an
I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, "You look like Lily." I think I looked at it and thought it was a lily.
Yeah.
And when they told me what it was, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Wait,
I'm
hold,
just called.
wait. You said you like plants, but you got an orchid.
No.
You thought it was a
I
lily?
just realized that I
Okay.
like plants.
Okay.
Like, in the course of like 6 months, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can deal with y'all.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna work my way from plant to pet to kid.
Wow,
I think that's a good, healthy, right? Plant, pet, kid.
Yeah, I guess
No?
that's a good progression. You gotta
If you can
start
keep
somewhere.
a plant alive, you
You're
can keep a
right.
dog alive.
Then you can
then
take
you
care of a
keep
kid.
A human, right?
Right.
That's it.
Exactly.
Some people should have started there from the beginning.
Right.
So this food looks good.
It
The cakes
really
look
does.
Bomb. I think you got the red velvet joint.
Yeah, I got the red velvet. Yeah.
All right. And,
Which one is yours?
It's called lemon pound cake.
Okay.
Lemon
yeah.
pound cake. I'm definitely gonna tear this up, but these kind of were given to me.
Okay.
These cards here.
So do I look at you? You go through your cards, or?
So they're questions.
Okay.
So we're gonna ask each other questions.
Okay.
All right. So I go first, and then
I go second.
turns.
Okay.
all right. So a physical feature of mine that caught your eye.
You have nice eyes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Would you date someone with kids? Why or why not?
I would date someone with kid.
Kid. Why do you take
I
the
would
S
date
off?
someone with kid.
Why do you take S?
Because kids is plural. That's a lot. Kid, one is cool.
Okay.
Preferably 0, but Because I understand. You know, I heard somebody say well, I read it on the internet. They said once you get in our age, you either got to be prepared to be a stepdaddy or no daddy, and so I'm becoming okay with that.
Okay.
I'm 29, so.
So you wouldn't be okay if like someone had like a bunch of baby kids?
Nah, it's a wrap. That's an automatic disqualification. How quickly would you want kids, and how many?
So first off, you know, thinking about when I'm having children, I want to first be married. And in my mind, I was thinking like I want like a little tribe, like maybe 4, but I haven't experienced that, so I don't know like,
Okay.
you know, I don't know how that experience is. I say that now, but then you start in that process, you're like, oh, why I do this? Like, so I don't, that's in my mind, I think I want maybe 4 or 5 kids because I want to create like a little community, so.
It's interesting that you say a tribe and you said just 4 or 5. For me, an African, I want a tribe of kids, but when I say I want a tribe, I'm thinking like 10, 12.
Oh my God.
Literally as many as the Lord will allow. So if it's not naturally that many, then I'm definitely adopting some kids.
Okay.
Definitely offer it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But I say, so I stopped saying the exact amount, and I started saying as many as the Lord will
Yeah,
allow.
okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah, I think that's a fair, safe, non-scary.
So what brought you to 10 or like just?
So I have 11 siblings, all
Okay.
by different mothers.
Yeah.
But when we were all together for my graduation, I was like, you know what? If we'd all grown up together, this would have been really dope.
Could have been lit.
And I was looking at my dad, I was like, this would have been really dope if we were all in the same house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. It sounds like he's really intentional. How would you respond if your child came out of the closet? Oh wow, that's a good question. And would it be a different response if it were your son or your daughter?
How'd I respond if my child came out the closet? I love you. You're my child. I probably would ask them how long they felt that way. I probably asked them how long they felt that way and just love them through it.
Yeah.
And love them regardless of it. I have family members who are gay and lesbian, and that's it. I definitely wouldn't respond with condemnation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even make the first thing that I say, even in that conversation, that this is sin.
Right.
Because if they've grown up in my household, they already know how I feel about it, so I don't have to reiterate that to them.
That's good.
It's just, you made a decision, I will love you, and then in my prayer time, I'm praying for you.
Right.
And interceding on your behalf.
And I think that's a good response because I feel like traditionally with Christians, it's kind of like that condemnation tone. Like I've had a friend recently, well not recently, maybe a couple years ago, they were, kicked out of the church they grew up in after they posted, the person that they were with who was the same sex. And like there was no love with that. Like they were just kicked out, and that kind of grieved my spirit because it always goes in my mind. I'm like, well, how can I, love if I have a child in this situation? How am I supposed to love? How am I supposed to act as a Christian?
Public or private relationship? Is it important to you that I let people know we are together on social media?
When I think of private relationship, I think of you got something to hide, like, in my mind. I don't necessarily think that when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I need to, post me every day, 5 days a week, I don't think that. I just feel like it's not everybody's business of how we progressed in our relationship and all that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm not going to be hiding that person, but it's definitely going to be an intentional dating experience.
So I would slightly disagree with the social media piece only because for me, I'm super private. So I've always had this thing where I wouldn't want to put my relationship on social media until I've had a ring to give her. So what's top 3 on your list of preferences?
That's interesting because I'm always iffy when people talk about preferences because I just feel like people put things in a box. I'm not saying I don't necessarily have one because my friends were kind of like, oh, you have a type? I'm like, no, I don't. But I guess top 3 on preferences. I guess heart devoted to God. I'm not sure that's a preference. I realize I like people that are clean cut. I'm not sure that counts as one. And then 2, someone with like authority. Like I've seen a lot of men who don't really hold up to that authority. And it's something when you see a man like take a charge and being authoritative and understanding his worth and power and like kind of projecting that through voice or like whatever. So I guess those are my 3.
The 3 preferences that she mentioned, 1, authoritative, that's definitely one that was a highlight for me and something I appreciate it because that's how I am naturally, and it's good to know that that's still something that women, think about and want. And then of course, a man that is devoted to God. I'm a Christian, I'm a man that's devoted to God. That's my number 1 priority. So if a woman doesn't want that, then we can't rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So my question is, does your ex still have a piece of your heart?
Answering honestly?
Yeah, I mean, I asked it.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, you still have feelings for your ex. So I have these cards. It says one side is throw away and the other one says grow and stay.
Okay.
So based on, I guess, our questions and our answers to the questions, we can choose based on that information whether we want to grow and stay or throw away. So I'm gonna give you one,
Okay.
and under the table we're gonna choose which answer, and then we're gonna show it to one another.
Okay.
So, okay.
And we doing a countdown? 3,
Yeah,
2,
oh, yeah,
1,
yeah,
1,
let's
2,
count
3,
down,
5,
okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Wow, that's really extra. So we can do like the 3, 2, 1. Wait, let me. Okay.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1. Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. So what made you choose the throwaway?
Okay. It had nothing to do with you and everything to do with, like I said, 2 of the questions you asked. What I think it was like what something along the lines, when will I know about a wife or something like that? I don't know,
Right.
something along those lines. And I said, I'm not in the dating thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like I gotta know for sure before I even take that step.
Yeah.
That this is somebody that I really wanna go with, and that's it. And then the other question is, yeah, I still have a little bit of connection to the ex.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, so it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, understandable.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna ask about why
And
I
then grow and stay.
So I think you have really nice qualities. Like for me, I am dating, so I like the qualities that you have. Just hearing you speak and just based off of the information that was provided today, it was like, wow, that's, going back to you seeing a man who has like that authority or that know about himself. That's admirable, and that's why I chose grow and stay. So I chose the grow and stay sign because I just like the qualities and the characteristics that Llewellyn showed, and not just having like conversation, but how he upholds himself. I seen a lot of intentionality from the things that he's expressed, and I did kind of like the answer to when his idea of like the kids part, not the kid answer, but like his own tribe, I thought that was cool in my mind.
So I did choose throwaway, and as I said to Alexis, it has nothing to do with her and everything to do with me wanting to make sure that essentially I don't repeat a lot of the mistakes that I had made before with my ex. And that was me being very serious about marrying her, and my actions didn't show. My heart knew that I wanted to marry her, but my actions didn't show that. And I don't want to be responsible for hurting somebody else again, or making that commitment or saying it and then not following through with that. So I want to make sure that whoever I do give that much time to, that it's for real and that I'm not just wasting anybody's time. So that's why I chose throwaway.
Welcome back to the Azonwus. You guys just watched our second episode of The Whole Truth, and I know you guys were blown away by this episode. Let's get to it. Llewellyn and Alexis, beautiful looking
yes,
people.
another beautiful couple.
Yeah,
well, not couple.
They're
I ain't gonna look
individuals.
them up. I ain't gonna look them up.
So it was crazy because when they first walked in, like we wanted everything to be realistic. These guys knew each other. Not only did they know each other, wait, they went to the same church.
What? That's crazy.
So I wanted to just spoil everything and just say forget this because we didn't get enough background, obviously, about what church they went to. So I was just like, this is a disaster. And my crew was just like, you know what? This can work. Just
Thank
because they went to the same church doesn't mean that they've talked in the same capacity. Right. So weirdness, awkwardness, all in all, they still kind of had a date worth watching. So we got to a question that said, would you date someone with kids? And
well, would you?
He said, kid. Yeah.
Meaning he'll do one, but not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You have 5 kids. I just say, if you had 2 kids,
I love all my babies.
If you had 2 kids, would I date you?
I think you would. I think you would. I said I think you would. I don't know if anybody else would. I think you would. Do you think I would date you if you had kids? Or kid?
I think you would. But at the age that I met you, that would have been I don't want to say a turn off. It would have been something that I've been like, man, I can't do it. Man, I don't know if I'm ready to be a father, but there's one thing I remember. You had your niece that was always around you at the time. And it was like
that was my baby.
Yeah, that was like
my baby. She's a big baby now.
Yeah.
Dang, I've known you for a long time. She's 18. But yeah, she was always with me. Like literally, I picked her up from school, put her to bed, woke her up, everything. So, and you accepted her?
Yeah, I took her in. So I don't think it would have been that crazy to me because I definitely fell in love. But I definitely was in love with you, and whatever came with you, I would have been willing to take that. But I think to overlook that, I think it's hard because there's baby mama, baby daddy drama, and I think a lot of people are afraid to. Why would you not want a clean slate when it comes to a relationship?
Because you already know there's going to be other problems ahead, so you don't want to. You consider someone with a child a problem or the relationship they had in the past a problem because baby mama, baby drama. Yeah.
Hey, so
baby mama drama.
A whole lot of that stuff. So I'm just thinking like, man, in the 30-somethings, if you're dating in the 30-somethings, I do think it's realistic to sometimes expect, if you're a man.
That's like somebody getting married in their 60s and saying, I don't have any children or any grandchildren.
Yeah, you expect some people to actually, it's possible for a person to have a child. Is it closed-minded to say, I don't want to date someone with children? Is it closed-minded?
I think it's closed-minded to say what you will not date, period, when it comes to dating. Unless it's like I will not date somebody that does not love the Lord. Like, other than that, I think
there should be no non-negotiables in that respect.
Yeah, like you do want somebody that loves the Lord. You don't want somebody that's evil, certain standards we do want to stand.
Some people say, well, I don't want kids, so the Lord's not going to bless me with somebody that got kids.
Okay, it's just like the man with the boat, the situation when they say, God, if you guys ever heard that story, God brought you help. No, I'm waiting on God. God keeps sending somebody away. You never heard that one? Okay, I'll show it to you later. But God can continuously keep bringing something your way, and when it doesn't look like what you set up for yourself, then you will dismiss it each and every time. Does that make sense?
So there may be a blessing in the life of someone who actually has a child or who is bringing a child into the picture. So I don't want to say it's closed-minded. I think some people just have their own things. But hey, you might be getting God's second best. You don't know if you're just kind of dismissing everything that God has to offer, because sometimes that package might come with a child. Right. So I know you want to get to that other part then.
Yes, I do. Now, why are you here? Okay, let's just play it out. Are you still in love?
No, I think does your ex still have a piece of your heart? Yeah.
Does your ex still have a piece of your heart?
Honestly?
Yes, honestly.
Yes, she does.
Wait, where's the check?
Well, but I'm gonna try to be devil's advocate and play his defense. He didn't come into this.
About the devil. I don't hear about no devil.
He came into this thing not expecting to get married. So I'm assuming that if he found someone that blew him away or was just everything that he wanted, maybe he would let go of whatever feelings that he had for his ex. You think that that's unreasonable?
I mean, when we say we ain't got to speak all this hypothetically. When she asked, do your ex still have a piece of your heart? Anybody that I come in contact with, that I get close to, gonna have a piece of my heart. I'm gonna still care for them. But in that situation and in that question, I think it strictly meant, are you still in love with your ex? And he answered it with his honest opinion.
So you're saying you cannot date if you still have your heart still connected to a person that you used to be with.
And I just got on Cyrus last week for saying he wasn't honest enough. And now I just don't want to hear that. I just don't want him to say that. So I don't want to say he should have lied, but
yeah, see, because he was honest. At least he was honest. But you know what? That gave her an opportunity to just say, like, she didn't have to. They couldn't go into the next phase of their relationship if they got into a relationship. They wouldn't go into the next phase of the relationship. And now y'all married, and he's waking up calling calling her somebody else's name.
Say my name, say my name.
Exactly. So I think it's honest for him to be able to say that.
My next question would have been, if they were to continue, if this was a real date, what is it that you're in love about it? Because maybe it could have been like, you know what? I like the way she catered to me, and I never had that before. I like the way she listened. So
you like the whole package.
Okay, I get it.
I think it might be.
My next question: why y'all not together?
That's a different question. Okay, so what if he messed up the relationship and they're no longer together, and he just wished, like, man, I wish I did all the right things to be with this woman. I'm gonna just put it like this. I told you this before. If you ever broke up with me,
I'm not leaving you.
No, but I'm saying if we were in a dating phase and you broke up with me, I'm petty. I'm sabotaging every relationship that comes your way. I'm going to be the plumber, the cable guy. I'm going to be everything. And look, if you left me or something like that, and I was down and out, and I'm getting a 6-pack. I'm gonna have my beard right. I'm gonna have my haircut right. I'm gonna be knocking at your door. I heard you sprung a leak. Yeah, I don't care if you got a boyfriend. You're mine. So I don't know. You might not be fighting hard enough, man. I'm gonna fight to get her back. Cause when she lose something good.
Bringing counseling to him.
That's my counseling.
He needs to go back.
If you lose something good, you better get it. And if you cannot get it, you have to find a way to let it go. It is toxic to bring feelings into a new situation. And I think sometimes that's how we are. We're always trying to reach for the future while holding on to the past, because I do believe he wants to move on. But how can you move on if you're still holding on to your past? And that applies spiritually too. Mm-hmm. How can you hold on to the hand of the Lord while you're holding on to your past sins? How could you hold on to God's promises when you're holding on to the condemnation and guilt and shame from your past? You can't do it. And I think we're all somehow guilty of trying to bring in old habits, old situations into new relationships. The scripture talks about old wine into new wineskins. So you can't pour new wine into old wineskins. That's what you can't pour new wine into old wineskins. You need new wineskins for new wine. Amen. And so if you're thinking about going into a new relationship, it is time to let not just the person go, but let the expectations that you had of the person go. Let the damage that the person, okay, you're going with new lessons, new understanding, but don't take that perception, those glasses that you use to perceive that person, and put them on to view the next person, because it's unfair that you have to view the potential and the promise or the purpose that God has for your life with the glasses that were tainted and marred by your ex. You'll always bring up bad situations. It's not good for anybody. Don't look at me like that. I don't care if we're on camera. Don't look at me like that.
Look at the camera.
Okay. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Stir up some more conversations. A couple questions came up, and I present those questions right back to you. I made you so uncomfortable. You are so uncomfortable when I be getting like that.
What?
Oh no, see, look, you get so uncomfortable.
You can feel my stiffness.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch y'all next time. Peace.